Hello, literature lovers. Today, as you can see, I want to discuss linguistics for imitation hypothesis. First is the ding dong hypothesis. It is basis. It is related to the origins of language on onomatopoeia. This idea states that language began when humans started naming objects after a relevant sound that are already involved in their already everyday life. Examples include words such as boom, crash, and oink. These represent the sounds of certain objects, but it is unclear how to provide onomatopoeia for silent objects such as a rock. It also does not consider abstract ideas like love or justice, as there are no sounds for these words. Also, this hypothesis does not apply words for grammar or abstract items in English language. So, it is not hard to imagine that these types of words are unusual and rare in most languages. Onomatopoeia is such a small part of linguistics and varies greatly from language to language. Because of these hypotheses, it is called limitations, it is considered a limited hypothesis. Secondly, I want to talk about the Pupu hypothesis. This hypothesis holds true to the involuntary nature of human speech. Though emotional response, language, and speech would have developed in tandem with human interaction and primitive emotional reaction. Such sound as wah 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 or ha ha ha, commonly used to denote crying or pain and happiness or laughter respectively, would then develop into a more unique and case specific series of sounds in association with other emotions and interactions. The problem with this hypothesis, however, is that exclamations such as the emotional responses that one might associate with these poo poo phrases are in fact dependent on the language instead of basis, though which language can be created. For instance, the sense of emotional response for pain is ouch in English, oi in Russian, and e in Czechoslovak. If there was a generalized emotion response that all people use, then it can be used. The third I want to talk is the bow-out hypothesis. It is the most popular but perhaps the most far-fetched hypothesis of them all. Basically, it is the idea that human language and vocabulary originated as a form of imitation. It is said that language came from the imitation of animal sounds. The problem that arises in this hypothesis is that a lot of words that describe animal sounds in different languages are similar. For instance, in English, a pig makes the sound oink oink. In Russian, the sound is translated as hairu hairu, and in Chinese, the sound is translated as oi oi. As one can see, these words represent the sound of a single animal in different languages. The sound and pronunciation of these words are not similar. The overall idea is that one's language determines how one interprets a sound, and since we have many languages, one cannot provide that human vocabulary comes from them. Last hypothesis is Tata, as commonly seen in primates, hand gestures, and body movement, are important aspects of interaction and cooperation within societies. Originally hypothesis by Charles Darwin, though not necessarily supported by him, the Tata hypothesis states that language and the development of sound was generated to support the hand gestures and movements of the individual, so as to better demonstrate the meaning behind gestures. These sounds progressed into more and more distinct words or combination of sounds, inevitably leading to speech patterns. Although plausible, like many of the other hypotheses, the cultural roots of varying hand gestures suggest that this is most likely not the reason behind language, where in some places nodding means yes, in other nodding means the opposite. Such distinct culture differences implies that this is not a sound hypothesis. That's all for today. I hope all these things would help you, your understanding in linguistics, and later help you in further studies. I hope this will help. Thanks.